Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy. Sometimes court cases read like a mystery story. Sometimes they read like a fairy tale, and sometimes they'll read like a horror story. I learn lots by reading these cases that come out every week. And so I want to tell you the story of how an Alaskan bush pilot's LTD disability claim crashed and burned over the issue of whether Social Security retirement benefits were offsettable. Well, the answer as to whether or not Social Security retirement benefits are considered offsettable as other income always starts with that disability insurance plan or policy. Many policies or plans use language such as LTD benefits are intended to supplement income you may receive as a result of your disability or retirement. I think that's kind of funny because it's not. It's supposed to be primary. But let's go ahead and read on. Any other income benefits you receive may reduce your long-term disability benefits, or other income that can include, but is not limited to, any Social Security benefits you or your family receives, or retirement benefits under the Social Security Act or alternative plan offered by a state or municipal government. So, based on that language, do you think that other income includes just Social Security disability benefits, just Social Security retirement benefits, or both Social Security disability and retirement benefits? When a court tries to figure this out, it's going to start with the plain language of that policy. And quite frankly, that's not always plain. And they're going to interpret that language in an ordinary and popular sense, as would a person of average intelligence and experience. Well, that sounds reasonable, but let me tell you the story of Mr. Rupert. In the case of Rupert versus Atlas Air, Rupert was a former bush pilot, and he became disabled, and the disability carrier wanted to reduce his disability benefits by the receipt of his retirement. He argued that a person of average intelligence and experience wouldn't understand that the Social Security retirement benefits were offsettable. He argued that the plan wasn't clear, it wasn't plain, and it wasn't conspicuous enough for a layperson to understand, and that the punctuation, including the use of a semicolon and the use of a word "or," was confusing. Well, my husband, who has a PhD in English and teaches English, would be, I think, amazed by the argument about the use of a semicolon and how that impacted whether or not retirement benefits were offsettable. So all of the language that I just mentioned was in Rupert's plan, and the court was faced with interpreting that language to determine whether or not the retirement benefits were offsettable. Unfortunately, the court didn't buy any of those arguments, and they noted that it was clear that the term any Social Security benefits included retirement benefits, and that there was a specific clause that specifically stated that Social Security retirement benefits were offsettable. So Rupert's LTD case crashed and burned, and his benefits were reduced by his Social Security retirement. And I'm sure, in fact, I'm positive that he didn't consider this when he stopped working, applied for benefits, and thought merrily that he was going to be paid the full amount of his disability benefits. That's pretty stinky, isn't it? So I think that the lessons learned that should be applied in every case is that, one, you should read your policy before you stop work and determine what your gross benefits are, determine what's offsettable, determine your net LTD benefits, and figure out whether you can afford to apply for your benefits or what alternative sources of income or savings you're going to need to use to live on. Well, that's it for this episode. Please, if you like this podcast, consider linking to our page, leaving a review, or sharing it with your friends and family. Remember, our podcast comes out weekly, so stay tuned next week for another insightful episode of Winning Isn't Easy.